Give us a preview of Vytjie Mentor's testimony before the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. We're joined on the line by political analyst Sanusha Naidu. Sanusha, a very good morning to you. Job offers, former President Jacob Zuma's sway on the ANC Youth League and the ANC Women's League, and allegations of offers or awarding of contracts irregularly. What more can we expect to come out from Vytjie Mentor this morning?
Good morning to you as well and the listeners. I think there's going to be more detail on those kinds of issues that were exposed or given in statement last week by SABC journalists. I think Vytjie Mentor is going to kind of drill down into more of the other aspects in terms of what has happened. So besides the job offers, trying to construct a design, a framework of how things were transpiring, she's probably going to give more detail and more substance to some of the issues that drilled down, particularly around the lines of why was if she was offered a job, for what reason, and perhaps maybe align that to what journalist had mentioned in his testimony before the commission last week. So I think we're in for more of the same, but more in terms of depth and substance.
It has been said that a lot more people had been made, these offers were made to a lot more people than just the three, which is SABC and Vytjie, and the allegations brought up by Themba Maseko. What makes Vytjie decide that I will bring out these irregular offers?
Well, I think to a certain extent it's about how she saw the offers and whether or not she saw them as something that she didn't agree with, that she felt uncomfortable with. And I think we only know the reason as to why she brought these things up in her testimony before the commission this morning and in the course of the day and the week. So I think to some extent what's important is that we need to ask ourselves where or not, how are these individuals who have looked at these offers and how they've interpreted these offers and what they say these offers are and why they've responded the way that they have.
Because of the way that the commission is set up, how far can we go in terms of using whatever testimony that Vytjie sets out today?
Sorry, just repeat the last part.
How can the testimony that Vytjie Mentor puts to the commission today be used for legal purposes?
It's difficult to say because, the commission does not have, its terms of reference does not allow it to have prosecutorial powers, or in this case, maybe there's a sense of indicting or bringing about criminal charges. But like we saw with Jonas's testimony last week, he opened up the can of worms around the issues of how the Hawks at the time tried to subdue the case, mute the case, and of course he also made claims that one of the Gupta brothers had indicated that he threatened his life. So in this way, the Hawks may actually now need to start thinking about how they relate to the testimony of the individuals before the commission, and whether or not they see this as part of their evidence gathering, and then whether or not they could actually institute and start gathering a new set of evidence for a case. And that, I think, is the issue here. Because going forward in terms of legality, it's very difficult to see whether the commission does have its ability to pursue any kind of legal or criminal or prosecutorial process in this. So it's only about what is presented in front of the commission, the evidence, and then what is decided by the commissioner. And I think in that way, that's where some of the reactions to the commission have come out in terms of whether or not the commission's terms of reference is firm enough, or whether or not it can actually take action and what kind of action it's going to take. So right now, we're just listening to testimony, we're listening to statements, and then we'll see what happens in that, what transpires. But I think for the legal dynamics and the dimensions of this commission, it's left again to the legal structures of the country to decide what to do.
Sanusha, what have been your impressions so far? Are you feeling that momentum is building in terms of interest and what can come out of the commission?
I think, for people who want to understand what happened and get a sense of a more constructive sense of what transpired and what emerged, I think, yes, they will say this and feel, I'm interested, I want to hear. I, for one, am interested to understand how deep the state's corruption goes, what is the design of it, what is the nature of it, and what were the real root causes of it, and what are the factors that influenced it. I think for the ordinary person on the street, they see this and they say, here, yet again, there's another level or another commission that is telling us what we already know. Because I think these individuals, people on the street, the ordinary South Africans, live in a situation where they experience this on a regular basis. They're still waiting for their homes, they're still waiting for their connections, their water, etc. And there's all kinds of different maladministration issues that emerge at the local government. So I think an ordinary person on the street, yes, they may be looking at it, but it fuels their frustration and it fuels their anger. And that the money that could have been used for their social service delivery, that they could have improved their livelihoods, had been manipulated and given and taken away from them. And I think that's the challenge right here, is whether or not ordinary South Africans have any trust in public institutions.
We thank you so much for your time. Sanusha Naidu is an independent analyst, just giving us a sense of what to expect from Vytjie Mentor's testimony this morning.